everybody, Karis here, and this is your full moon focus for April the 14th, 2014. It's a very big day. 4/14/14 equals 14. And I know a lot of you guys have been seeing 1s and 4s lately. I have for about the past year or so. I'm right now at Maymont Park in the middle of a triangle of these 3 beautiful pine trees. And down below is the Japanese garden in Richmond, Virginia. Over there's a little trail that goes up, and I don't know if you guys can see the children. I guess there's a field trip or something today. There are some buildings on the property, and there's a beautiful little pagoda, which I was going to shoot in, and I was sitting meditating, getting ready to shoot, and then these people came in to take pictures. Not for the wedding going on right next to it, which there is too. This is just such a living place. I love Maymont because it's one of the places, especially in the city of Richmond. I mean, it's downtown Richmond, where people just come just to love the land. So just loving the land in the city is really magical and really a blessing. Anyway, so I was sitting up there wanting to video there, and then this couple came, and I was like, oh, well, gosh, just come push me right out of the pagoda. I had my little moment of resistance. And then I was like, okay, it's fine. Let me just walk and see. And then I found this triangle of pine trees right when I was doing my Merkaba, which is made of triangles and squares for me. All right. So, what I want to talk to you guys about is the goddess return. Now, I'm not an astrologer, and I don't know much about this, but I did sit for a few hours earlier this spring with a very good astrologer, and she showed me the Grand Cross and the Grand Square and how Venus is exalted and Mercury is exalted and Mars is in Libra, and all of these things are happening. So the day is ripe for receiving, harmonization, moving the love of ourselves, our independent self-love, to universal love, upgrading Venus, and moving our thought and understanding and kind of third eye intuitive sense of what's going on to a universal understanding. Mercury is exalted. And then Mars in Libra means that there's not going to be much of that. I don't see Mars energy as bad. I just see it as the energy of conflict, which does a lot. You know, the energy of conflict, we do need it. So it's not that it's bad, but when you have that push against energy gone, then that means a lot more integration can happen, a lot more weaving can happen. And also with the Grand Cross and the Grand Square, I don't remember how those work because it was a few months ago, but I do know that the woman who was teaching me, whose name is Mary Riley, and she's based out of Paonia, Colorado, she was saying that there have been prophecies about this astrological event going back from, I think, the Thoth, the Emerald Tablets. I'm not exactly sure, but it was really old, and I think it was Thoth's writings. Okay. So, as I'm talking about this, I would like to let you guys get the codes of these beautiful tree friends of mine. So, this is going to be a day ripe for receiving. And we all have goddess energy. When this entire planet got split into duality so we could do this whole thing in the first place, things had to decide where they were going to be. Things had to decide whether they would be the receivers or the givers, the female, the male, the dark, the light. And the female is the one who has been lower for a while now. You guys know we've had the woman empowerment stuff come up lately. It's not a real surprise there. However, there is a feminine aspect, there's a receiving aspect in everyone, not just the women. So what to do on this super powerful day? Well, receive. Set your clock. This is what I would do. Now, usually I tell you guys to do a crystal or something like that, but now I don't think it's about the planet. It is, but it's about the planet through us. Because we don't hop out of Gaia. We're cells of her body. So when we ground something into us, we also ground it into Gaia. And we grounded it into us, we also ground it into our minds and where our ideas can come from. I don't know what... Oh, it's right there. Interesting. Helicopter. I'm just going to wait till it goes by. Nice. I've never seen one of those flying over Maymont before, I don't think. Anyway, so back to the full moon. So set your clock once an hour and just take a breath on that hour because it's going on all day. Oh, also there's a lunar eclipse. So it's kind of just action-packed with things going on. So set your alarm clock for every hour, and every hour take a breath, breathe in, breathe out, and say that you're willing to receive all the most beautiful things that you could experience in your current version of life. You know, everything you guys hear is coming through the Karis lens. It's divine consciousness, which all of you have, which is what you're witnessing this video with, coming through your lens for you, my lens for me. So we all have all of it. It's just figuring out where it goes. And when we have tricks like today, then, well, not today, but the 14th, then we get an extra little push. We get some extra ingredients to help us do that. Also, when the actual full moon happens, it's going to be late at night. So for some people, it actually happens on April 15th, and for some people, it happens on April 14th, depending on what time zone you fall into. So, but it happens around midnight-ish for, you know, people in my area, which is America, United States. And so what we can do is before you go to bed, because you can stay up and do it at the actual moment, but you don't have to. But it is more powerful when you do it under the moonlight. And when I'm making intentions for things to create under the moon, I usually like to do it, if I have to choose, before or after, before the moon's totally full, because it's bringing in all of that beautiful energy, not once it starts flowing out again after it's full and then waning. So set out your crystals under the moon, make sure they're charging, and set the intention. Here's what to do. Set the intention to receive a bunch of awesomeness, whatever you want, and go big with these. Write them down. Go big. Don't say what you want minus a couple degrees because you think it's realistic or you think you deserve it. Go big, because when you subtract energy from what you actually want because of your receiving issues, which we all have, or else we wouldn't even be here in an imperfect situation, which is getting more perfect all the time, I think. Anyway, if you didn't have problems with receiving, you wouldn't need to knock it down a couple notches. And when you knock it down a couple notches, all the universal consciousness sentient program that we upload and download from, all it recognizes is that you're not being honest. So it's probably not going to give it to you. So if you want it to be super effective, seeing her little heart out, I love it. If you want it to be super effective, then be honest. And then, as time goes by, you can notice what you manifested and what you didn't, and learn more about your own manifestation. There are also some events going on. I'm having an online call that day, which we're just going to do a bunch of meditations and grounds in, and I'll put the link down below. Also, there is a new sleep course coming up. I'm starting at May 5th, which is going to teach us how to deal with dreams, remember our dreams, and then use them for navigation, manifestation. And there's just a bunch of other good stuff. I know there's something else I'm forgetting right now to tell you about. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but I will put it in the details down below. So, much love to you guys from Maymont, Richmond. This week I'm going to New York City, and I think next weekend I might be having an event, so stay tuned on my website for that. I have not exactly decided upon the day and stuff, but I'm very excited to visit New York, and I will see you guys there. And much love. Go in peace. Remember, this full moon is very powerful. The power is going to come through you whether or not you use it. That's the thing. If you don't use it, it might just pop off in some really weird way that you might not want. And also, if you are acting cray, and if you know people who are acting cray, a lot of people's blockages, triggers are getting boiled up right now because we're about to get a big influx of amazing energy, so things that are blocking it have to get out. So if you or people around you are acting really not friendly, then, especially if it's you, make sure that you don't say or do things that you're going to regret then when it's time to harmonize it all back. And when someone comes at you saying or doing things that really hurt or that you think they might regret, and you could flash back and do the war, what if you don't? What if you just say, you're entitled to your opinion. That's okay. You can think whatever you want. What happens if you don't? It's my personal opinion that that's one of the ways that we get set free. Alright guys, more later, lots more videos to record for you, and maybe the next ones will be from New York. I'm not sure, maybe they'll be from here, we'll see. See you guys on the astrals.